Day 3 at Wimbledon has been and gone, and what a day of tennis we've seen. Carlos Alcaraz winning his match easily, and Jannik Sinner struggling through, but the main thing is, they both won their matches.
That's right, another day of tennis in the books at Wimbledon, and it's been a very action-packed day. We had some matches that fell over from the day before that had to be finished off, and we got to see on the men's side 8 5-set matches, which, I mean, you don't get much more than that on a day of tennis at Wimbledon, and we had some good matches on the women's side as well, but some much more convincing wins on the women's side. We've seen a few breadsticks, a few bagels, and, well, where are we going to start? I think that we should probably start with the women's, just because I want to touch on somebody who's been playing very, very well. And I've got to jump straight in and just talk about her, because I know you really want to hear about it as well, JG. And this person is Emma Raducanu. I mean, come on. She had an absolutely storming second round match. And it was Elise Mertens, who, on a day, if she plays well, is a pretty good player. She beat her 6-1, 6-2, and she's now into the third round for the second time, and the first since 2021, the breakout year. And she now faces Maria Sakkari in the third round. What do you make of that, JG?
I don't think you could write it any better if you tried. First round, the tough opponent in Alexandrova doesn't play, locked in the cupboard by Wimbledon. Then has Zara Zua, who was chopping it and doing drop shots the whole match, and then gets the very mentally weak Elise Mertens. That is my opinion of it. I think Mertens can be good on her day. She's not someone who can close it out. She's not going to be very good when the crowd are against her and the pressure's on in a Grand Slam, playing the favourite. Everything was against her. It really was. But I'm not going to take anything away from Emma Raducanu's performance. I did watch the match. I thought she was very solid. It was great to see Ashley Barty on the commentary, and she had some nice things to say. And I really enjoyed some of her bits of analysis during the match, and I thought it was quite refreshing to some of the usual BBC rhetoric you hear when Raducanu plays. So that's a real positive. And I like the way she served today. I thought she found some good aces at big times. Her forehand was very dominant. And there's no weaknesses, really, or negatives in Raducanu's performance. The only thing is, let's not read too much into it, because Elise Mertens, I don't rate very highly. You look at her next round match of Sakkari or Rus, I reckon it will be Sakkari.
It is.
She's cut from the same cloth as Elise Mertens, I'm afraid. I think another one who's a bit weaker. The difference is with Sakkari, she's a better tennis player than Mertens. And I would put Sakkari as favourite. But let's wait and see. It's definitely a better test. I believe Sakkari was en route to when Emma won the US Open. So she has beaten her at a Grand Slam stage before. And I'm not sure how it's going to play out. I think Sakkari not so good on the grass. Raducanu brilliant on the grass. I think Sakkari will win if I had to put my money down.
Well, you know where my money's going, and it will be going for the Brit. I mean, she is in fantastic form. She's just been given the treat of joining Andy Murray in the mixed doubles as well, which she said she took 10 seconds to make a decision on that. And she, well, just jumped at the opportunity to play with Sir Andy in his last ever Wimbledon. I think there's just lots of good energy coming from the British camp at the moment. Despite Andy Murray retiring, I think this is giving some of the other Brits a bit more of like a kick up the backside to make this a really good tournament for all the British players. And we've got to see some other great women on like the Brits side as well. This Cartel is doing so well. She's through. She struggled a bit against Clara Burrell, but she made it through her match, and she gets a treat against Coco Gauff next round. I mean, it doesn't get much more exciting, does it? These next two British matches are real crackers, I think.
Yeah, Cartel beating someone 200-odd places above her in the rankings. We know she was a fantastic junior player, someone who rivaled Raducanu and beat her in some final, I believe, when they were 16 years old. I remember researching that before Raducanu went on to play the US Open, because I was fascinated to see who Emma was. I didn't know anything about her at the time. And this is where Sonné Cartel come up as a name. fantastic player. She's had a lot of injury concerns and health issues, but looking good at the moment. And I thought it was interesting where you said how the British tennis is coming to the forefront a little bit. We're talking about Andy Murray, talking about other players. They seem to all be playing against each other in the next round. We've got Draper playing Norrie, and we've got Harriet Dart playing Katie Bolter. And I find the Bolter-Dart one the most fascinating because it is no secret that they don't like each other. There's been a lot of arguments. There's a beef between the two of them. And I forget the name of the other British tennis player. You'll know her. Who's
Jodie Burrage?
Jodie Burrage, that's right, was interviewing Katie Bolter, and she was not answering the question when it come to Harriet Dart. But I like that. I think it makes it more interesting when you've got two players who don't actually like each other too much. I put Bolter as a big favourite. But yeah, so I guess it's good in one way because we know British players will be going even further through the next round because they're pitted up against each other. But we are going to lose one at the same time.
Yes, we are indeed. I mean, exciting stuff, though, nonetheless, for British tennis and for Wimbledon as well, because a lot of the country will be tuning in to catch a lot of these matches in the next round. Yeah, I'm glad that they're actually talking about some of the other players on the news and on the BBC for a change, because I know that Bolter didn't really get many headlines when she was doing well the other week, and it was more about Raducanu getting or dropping out of the Olympics and stuff like that. So I'm glad that when Wimbledon comes round and the British players do well, we get to hear about them and they actually start to make some waves. Are there some waves going around in Italy right now? Because there was two Italians that went head-to-head on a tennis court. That was the last match on court. Everything that went past, all these 8 5-set matches, we had to wait to the end of the day for the big one. And it was Jannik Sinner, Matteo Berrettini. It didn't disappoint, and it pretty much was as billed. I said in my preview, we're going to have at least 2 tie breaks in this match, and the first 2 sets were tie breaks. And I did say Jannik Sinner to win in 4. So, and he seems to have this third set syndrome, I think, at the moment, where he wins the first 2, loses the third, and then wins the 4th. So he's done that in the first round and the second round now. But a great performance from Jannik Sinner, and shows how clutch he is in tie breaks.
Berrettini was the better player for large spells of the match, and the scoreline suggests it as well. He was up a break in the second, he was up a double break and secured it in the third, up a break in the last one. Sinner only got to tie breaks to clinch the match, and Berrettini was outstanding. In that third set, he had, I don't know if it's percent or whatever, how they work it out, the stats, but he had a 95 score out of 100 for his forehand quality, which was so much better than all of the other sets. And I think the tour average is about 71. So it's outstanding how well Matteo Berrettini played. You've got to remember, this is his surface. This is his tournament. He's got to a final of Wimbledon. If he's going to win any Grand Slam, it's going to be here. And there was no problems with the back. He was serving well. I thought some of his drop shots were great. The forehand was pushing Sinner around. And Sinner did so well to defensively stay in a lot of rallies and force the error from Berrettini, because eventually you will get a mistake, whether that's a backhand into the net or backhand long. That's the route, I feel, for a Berrettini mistake.
Yep.
I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed the spectacle. At times, I found it a little bit boring. The reason being, I think, sometimes watching Jannik Sinner, it is a little bit robotic, his performances, and I think Berrettini on grass is not the most exciting watch. I mean, I can appreciate it for a little bit, but after 2 hours and a half, I was losing my concentration to keep watching the match. Let me know what you guys think. I'm a big tennis fan. I've been doing this podcast. I've been talking about tennis for probably over 4 years now, but yet there were spells in this one where I don't think it's like a really exciting matchup, this two. However, there were spells that are super fascinating, especially the big moments, the break points, the tie breaks, all of the critical moments. I was fascinated to see who would come out on top. And I think Sinner's overall play and the level he is just, it just got him over the line.
Yeah, definitely. And he does have shades of a Djokovic right now. That I keep on putting the comparison out there, but there's one other player on tour who's this good in tie breaks, and it is Novak Djokovic. I mean, when you come up against a big server, Djokovic was able to do it against the likes of Hurkacz. He's been able to do it against the likes of some of the big servers on tour. And now Jannik Sinner's doing it. He's now won his last 7 tie breaks. We've got one against Struff in Halle quarter-final, Zhang, and in a semi-final. In the final against Hurkacz, there were 2 of them. And now he's had 3 against Berrettini. I mean, Berrettini, I agree with you. I feel like the first set, when I was watching it, I just thought this is a little bit like, I mean, we know there was one break point in the whole set, and it went within a second because Berrettini just smashed down a massive ace. But that's all it was. It was just serve, 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 serve. Let's get to the tie break. That's what it felt like in the first set. And then it's like about who can hold their nerve. A lot of clutch tennis from Jannik Sinner, and the tactical astuteness in that final set, because he didn't want to be the one making the mistake. So all he did was kept running around his own backhand and was like, have it on your backhand, and kept making him. And Berrettini would go slice, slice, slice until he thought, I'm going to go topspin and then it'll go long. And that's what the same tactic. Djokovic used the exact same tactic with Berrettini, and it works every time. So there is a set template to beat someone like Berrettini if you get into a rally. It's just about getting into the rallies. That's the only problem against Berrettini.
Yeah, there's a set template, but I think only a select few players can do it on a grass court.
Agreed. Yes.
Alcaraz, Sinner, Djokovic, maybe not many more. Hurkacz, I'm not sure. There's a handful of players who can do it. He's that good on the surface. Yep. I think his serve will just neutralise pretty much everyone, even them players, to be fair, when it's popping. But if you can get into the rally, he's still better than most players on the surface. He just moves very well. It was 3 hours 43 and finished at 10:32 p.m. Today started with rain and not very good conditions. It was horrible at the start. I wasn't sure how much play was going to get. They brought the covers off the court and then had to put them straight back on after they got them off. But I'm glad we got through a lot of the matches. And you mentioned some 5-set matches. I would like to go to probably my pick of the 5-set matches, and that is Thomas Mahatch versus David Goffin. Of course, David Goffin was filling in for Sir Andy Murray because Murray pulled out yesterday. And what a crazy match it was. I mean, Mahatch was 2-1. He was two sets down. Goffin won the first 2, 6-3, 6-3. And then Mahatch come back in extraordinary fashion, 6-4, 6-1, to set up the 5th. And he found himself 5-love down in the 5th set. I mean, Goffin, on this screenshot, as you can see right now, he is 3 points away from bageling Mahatch.
I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, 5-love down. He must have thought, I've got this one done and dusted.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it before. And I want to challenge everyone in the comments section. I can never recall a 5th set match where an opponent was 5-love up, and in the 5th set he lost, and it went to a super tiebreak in the end, and I think Mahatch won 10-5 if I remember.
Yeah, correct.
There were some great shots in it and so much perseverance, but this is insane. I don't remember this ever happening before, but let me know if it has happened, because I would love to know and hear about it.
Yeah, I mean, well played to Mahatch as well, because a very, very tough opponent. I mean, David Goffin, he's a very seasoned veteran of the game and not someone easy to get out of there. And the way he did it after coming back and being from 5-love down, he came back twice, really. He came back from 2 sets to love down and then had to do it all again in the final 5th set. So... well played to him. I mean, I thought that he would win the match, but I didn't think it would be like that. I thought it would be a much more comfortable victory against the lucky loser, David Goffin. And I think that he's the unluckiest loser, I think, now. Not such a lucky loser in this first round match. I think I'm going to start getting confused with which round we're in, because we're having matches overlapping on days now, which is starting to get confusing. I know that we did have another match which overlapped, which was nearly as dramatic as well. I don't have a tweet for it, but I'll just bring up the scores on the screen, which was Felix Auger-Aliassime up 2-love. And I saw Kyrgios tweeting madly throughout the day as this one was reconvening. this third set tiebreak was pivotal for Kokkinakis. If he lost that, he's out the match. And he faced 4 match points in this third set tiebreak. Came through 11-9 and then goes on to win the match in 5. I can't quite believe it.
Yeah, I sent you a tweet from our friends at Tennis Australia, Ben Lewis, and Tennis Australia, Tennis Canada, and he was saying Kokkinakis rallies from 2 sets down and stuns Felix, and he said it's perhaps the worst loss, the major loss of his career. I think it probably has got to be up there. This is a really bad loss for Felix. I think it's going to damage his confidence. His confidence isn't that high anyway. But to have all of them opportunities, closing out in straight sets, and then finding yourself losing in 5, it's one of them, a bit like Medvedev, what's happened in finals before, where I think it was against Nadal, wasn't it, where he wasn't the same for a bit. And it wouldn't surprise me if we see now Felix. I don't think he's not very good on the clay anyway, so I can't imagine him going back on it for the Olympics. But yeah, I thought he's going to have a really torrid few months up until the US Open.
Yeah, I
could
thought
see
he was
ripples of impacts in his performances following a loss like this.
I thought he was just coming back to a little bit of form as well. Not a lot, but signs that he was coming back a little bit, and especially for the grass courts. This is terrible for him. This will set him back mentally for sure, but I'm hoping don't let it impact you too much. Just take a month off or something and then come back a little bit more revitalised, ready for the hard court swing, and then he'll probably be back over in Canada. Maybe he'll be able to do well over there. Anyway, let's move on to some of the other 5-set matches. I just want to have a quick look at a few of these others. Any of these that shock you, these 5-set matches that went one way or the other? I think Cerundolo going out shocked me.
Didn't shock me. I had him going out in my bracket.
Okay.
So not that one. Pure, I thought he was going to win. I thought Nishikori in 5 was actually going to win that one, and he didn't.
Mad.
But
Loves
I think
a 5-set.
he collapsed after that tiebreak. He didn't have the energy. I think physically struggled. But really, I don't want to take it away from your 5-set narrative. But the matches I actually want to talk about is a bit of disappointment in Christopher Eubanks. Because there was a lot of expectation for him coming into this event. I thought it was good odds for him to win. At evens there, you can see on the screen. I mean, I thought it was a no-brainer. I thought Eubanks to beat Quintanillis. We know he got to, quarterfinals last year.
Yep.
He's, I think, going to drop so many points. I don't know if he's going to go sort of 80 in the world or something, maybe 100.
Terrible.
What happened to him? Just capitulate. Could not handle Quintanillis. There's nowhere near it at the moment, and I fear that he's going to just fizzle away as a challenger player. Quite frankly, I don't think he's really up to the ATP level anymore. I don't want to be too reactionary in this loss, but it's not just based off this performance. I think it's been this whole of 2024. He's not nowhere near the player as what he was last year. I don't think he can sustain that level. And I feel we've seen him for many, many years on the Challenger Tour. I think he's going straight back there.
Yeah, it's a bit of a one and done, that tournament, that Wimbledon.
He had a bit of a Karatsev purple patch, and now he's done.
Seems like it. Very sad as well, because he's such a nice guy on the tour. Brings a lot of nice energy and vibes, but unfortunately we might not be seeing him at many ATP events in the near future, unless you want to go to the Challenger Tour. You might be able to see him at Zagreb or something. I don't know. This isn't a shock. The next one I'm going to speak about, did watch a bit of it earlier. Fognini with his new blonde hair, which is, I don't know, a little bit of something to talk about in the tournament. Knocking out Casper Ruud, which I think I had Casper Ruud going out early. I think probably most people did.
I think you called it. I feel like you had Fognini beating him.
I think so, yeah, as well. But I can't remember my bracket. I think I did say Fognini would beat him. I think Casper Ruud just so bad on the grass. That's all I can say.
Uninterested more than anything.
Just
he
not
doesn't play
good.
any warm-up events. Doesn't like it. I don't think he's bothered. I feel he doesn't feel like he needs to perform there. He just goes there, wins a round if he gets someone easy, and then collects his paycheck and goes and rests up. And I'm sure he's going to be focused on the Olympics, where he's got a really good shot. He's great on the clay.
Yeah, I totally agree. Looks completely uninterested. And This one shocked me. I just want to speak about this one quickly. Tommy Paul going to 5 sets with Virtanen.
I think it's just Virtanen's a really good player. Underrated, one we don't rate highly. I think Paul was slow to start, but still, it just put some credit on his name. I think he's just a good player. That's my set. I didn't watch it, but I'm not that shocked by it. I think Virtanen's a top player from what I've seen. I think we saw him live once as well.
Yeah, I mean, fair play to him. Hopefully he continues with that good form. But Tommy Paul makes it through just about. And Talon Griekspoor goes out, which I thought was a bit of a shock. And that is now going to be Carlos Alcaraz's next opponent, which
Sinner's, I believe.
No, Sinner's next opponent, sorry, because Carlos Alcaraz is facing Francis Tiafoe. And this is an interesting thing after Carlos Alcaraz's match. It said after his match, he was saying he's looking forward to it because he's coming for you. What do you say to that? Carlos says, I'm coming for him. I like it. It's an evil smile. I like it.
Evil.
It's not that evil.
I think if I was Carlos Alcaraz, I'd walk out onto centre court. I'm assuming it's on centre court, if not court 1, and have a clown mask on.
Oh.
Just for the fun. I think it'd be funny.
Like it.
Walk out, clown mask on, maybe a red nose. Play
in it. Play in a clown like.
No, you can't. Wimbledon probably would not like any of this at all.
Comes out on a unicycle. juggling.
I think TFO would be so rattled by just seeing that he would capitulate and be like, oh no, he's doing it because I've called everyone clowns and now he's going to beat me easily, and he would just struggle. I think it would be a 1-1-1. But he's not going to do it, and that's just my mind. Let me know if anyone else's mind goes that way.
How about this then? It's a subtle one. He doesn't have to wear a clown mask. He just comes out juggling 3 tennis balls. That's a subtle one.
That's a little, I guess so.
I quite like that one. If you're listening, Carlos, come out juggling a few tennis balls. Or as a victory, once you've beaten him, a little juggle of 3 tennis balls. I feel like
this is something Djokovic would do, maybe.
Djokovic would definitely do it. But don't forget, this is the first time they're facing each other since that 5-set thriller in the US Open semi-final, followed by this wholesome exchange in the locker room where TFO told Alcaraz, go win this thing. And there was that little moment.
The difference is TFO is nowhere near that level of player. He's really struggled for form, and Alcaraz has got better and better, I feel, and certainly very good on the grass. I don't see TFO troubling Alcaraz.
Yeah.
At the very best, if TFO plays really well, he'll take a set.
And Alcaraz, as he's put out a tweet here, I like it that they all put out this little tweet afterwards. We have Djokovic, you have Sinner, Alcaraz, hungry for more. See you on Friday in round 3. Oh, and there's pictures where he's like hovering. Always seem to appear. Look at him, he's like levitating like some magician there above the court. Pretty incredible. Is there anything he can't do on a tennis court?
I generally could never jump that high. My body would not allow me.
It's insane.
And if I did, I'd never be able to get my knees up that much.
His match against Vukic, did you catch much of it? Or
yeah, I did. I thought Vukic was good.
I thought so too.
Really good. Yeah.
Bottled the first set, serving out for it. I thought a little bit, but it's gonna happen.
Alcaraz was solid too, and Alcaraz for me still looks like the number 1 player to beat over Jannik Sinner
or Djokovic.
Yeah, let's wait to. I've not seen Djokovic yet properly because he's played. I'm sorry.
Fit Capriva.
A few clowns. To quote TFO, I think Vic Capriva's all right on a clay court.
Yeah,
challenger to circuit, but that's about it. I mean, Fernley, I don't know what to say about him. I've never really watched him.
I haven't really either, and I
know he went to college, I believe, in the US, and he's Scottish, and Andy Murray seems to think he's all right.
Norrie will probably like him then if he went to the old college tennis as well. Then Dan Evans went crashing out.
We'll wait for round 3 against Popperin, and then we'll see where Djokovic's game's at.
That's it. Yeah, most definitely. Italian went out in Sonego. Batista Agut having a little bit of a resurgence. Bublik through again. Go on. Cool on, love that. He's seeing him he's having.
I'm actually nervous for tomorrow for Popperin. And for people wondering why are we nervous, well, join the Patreon because there is interviews of me and Ben speaking to Bublik, Popperin, Hurkacz, and Shevchenko, and it's a one-on-one at Boodles, me opposite Hubi Hurkacz, and I'm grilling him on everything tennis and finding out how easily he's going to beat Novak Djokovic in the quarterfinals and how confident he is in that. You can watch the interviews all on the Patreon.
Really lays into Djokovic, doesn't he, in that interview? He's a bit harsh with his comments, Hubi. I'd never seen him like that, so X-rated before. Anyway, moving down to some of the women's results here. I saw Hadad Meyer. You'll be pleased that she's going through another round. And one we've got to
Do you have Hadad Meyer in your top 10?
No, I don't think
okay.
so. And one player that I know that you do have in your top 10, which I know you're going to be disappointed about, is Naomi Osaka out 6-4, 6-1 to Emma Navarro. She's looking good, Navarro, though. She's one of those players who's young, coming up, and
I saw her
form.
Her form. She's in good form. I think she's just she's quite high in the rankings. I always forget. I think she's is she 15th now or something?
17th, yeah. It's probably higher
in
now
the live rankings. It is.
Yeah.
Let me just put it up because I think she's doing really well. Yeah, Emma Navarro is 16th at the moment. She's at a new career high. So let's put that into consideration.
Yeah, really, really good. Really happy that Danielle Collins made it through as well. Come on, good for my bracket. I'm hoping Collins can go deep in this Wimbledon. And looking down here as well, Pavlyuchenkova out. Vukic still playing really well. Keep your eye out on Donna Vukic. And Lulu Sun doing it again. This comes back from a set down and wins again. Lulu Sun. Is the sun going to be shining for her in the next round? Well, if it's on Friday, there's rain predicted, so hopefully that's not when she's playing.
Yeah, good performance. And Paolini, did you talk about her?
No, not yet. Go for it.
She's at a new career high, 6 in the world.
Wow.
She's approaching the big protected 4.
Yes. I mean, fair play to her. I mean, she's had a fantastic year so far. May long it continue, but she is playing Bianca Andreescu in the next round. That one is a popcorn match.
Favourite. Why not? She can do it on all surfaces. I've never seen her at this level before. So it's new territory. She's 28 years old. But if you look at, you got Iga, Coco, Sabalenka, Rybakina, Pegula's in 5th, and now Paolini in 6th. I think it's a matter of time until she's a better player than Pegula. She really is, in my opinion. So let's see if she can take that number 5 spot. 'Cause I think that's where she deserves to be.
Okay, and just finishing up, let's just have a look at what tomorrow brings so that we can find out who we're going to be speaking about maybe in tomorrow's podcast. You can see Hurkacz in action again against Fees. That should be a really entertaining one.
Two Italians, Darderi, Massetti.
Yeah, brilliant.
Great to see Tabio. I think he was great today and has claims to go far. Popperin's got Echeverry. He's marginal favourite, but that's actually going to be a 5-setter. I'm calling it now. Wawrinka Monfils has yet to finish, but Monfils winning as we expected. Djokovic, walkover. Draper, Norrie. I think that's another walkover.
Go back
I think Draper should win that one easily, but I think you never know with Norrie. I think it's going to be straight sets Draper, though. I don't think we're going to see Draper going to 5 again.
Yeah, Fritz, I'm hoping that he's going to be fresh and Ryan X going to be
who's
tired.
Rune got?
Sorry?
Rune, who's he got?
Sebochfield. Pericard's one to watch out for, though. Look, favourite. Look at this. I mean, doing the damn thing. A massive serve, and this is someone that Korda was unable to handle. Keep going. Rusevori, Tsitsipas and Giron versus Zverev. Zverev's seen that match up a few times in the past. Giron, Zverev. And on the women's side, I think there are some really good. On this one, perhaps the pick of them. Badoza, Brenda Fravitova. That one will be on tomorrow. But can Brenda do it? Can she go through? She's knocked out Mila Andreeva already. Can she knock out Badoza next?
I don't think we've got the times for these yet, or are they all 11 starting? Oh, it seems like they're all starting at 11, actually, looking down.
Yeah, it looks like they are. Miyazaki versus Kasakina. We've got any other ones there? Oh, yeah, Bolter versus Dart. That's a 1 o'clock match here in the UK. Jaber's back. Collins is back as well. Rabakina versus Siegmund and Iga Martic. Oh, and to finish the day, Wozniacki Fernandez. Now you're talking. That's a big one.
Yeah, big for my bracket because I've got Fernandez going very far. But let's wrap it up there. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to our daily roundup show. Join us tomorrow for the same thing. And if you haven't already, hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. It really does help us if you hit that button and subscribe, because it allows us to keep doing these podcasts for you guys, and helps us move through some YouTube algorithms.
Yeah, go check us out on Spotify as well. Give us a 5-star review and put some comments over there on Spotify too, because it helps with those little algorithms.
Okay, so thanks for watching and see you guys tomorrow.
See you then.